you're gonna go 1 because your audio track's the loudest. So I put you at the top, then mine second, and B-man's third.
Okay. 1,
2,
3.
What's wrong with you?
What's wrong with that?
Why do you have to make it so difficult? It's exactly the same as last time. As soon as I said it, I was like, if I could count the next number before you say it, you're waiting too long.
But I'm trying to do it proper seconds. How much of a space do you want? 1, 2, 3.
Well, because if I want it to
1,
make it so
2,
that there's not
3.
weird delay between when we're talking, it's fine because I can just do it off the 1 and 2. But then, oh no!
Just do it again quickly. Just do it again quickly.
Fuck's sake, B-man!
I don't know what the problem was with that.
All right, okay.
Just carry on.
Right, Rico, start again.
1,
2,
3. What's wrong with that?
God's sake, Adam.
Is that what? Is it too quick?
I don't know if there's a delay like on my end, but it's like
There must be because I'm doing it straight after when you're saying 2. 1, 2, 3.
Is that 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, it's like a noticeable gap.
Seriously, I'm doing. If anything, I'm doing it too early, so there must be a delay.
What do you mean? How does that work, B-man?
No, like literally, like not leaving enough of a gap between the 2 and the 3. You're saying 2 and I'm going 3, and you're saying it's still delayed.
Right, let's do you know what, I'm going to leave this in. If I count them out. Right, let's try again. Okay?
1,
3.
2.
Is that late? I'm doing that
No,
early.
no, that was fine. That one was fine. That was fine.
Jesus
Oh
Christ.
man. Oh my gosh. Oh. Busby.
How did you joke with it?
There's nothing I could do about it.
Yeah, it's proper gupter, eh?
Proper good.
Alright, let's get
Go on,
cracking,
Adam.
boys.
You start with the intro and
Right.
do everything.
Are you sure there wasn't any grade in that role you had?
It was definitely spicy.
I'm not even doing anything. I don't know what's wrong.
Exactly, that's the
it's
point.
you guys that
You're
are
not
having the
doing
fucking
anything.
giggling fit. I don't know what
Come
you're.
on.
You're not doing anything.
I
That's
said
the point.
you do the intro. Start it.
Oh, well, I don't like doing the intro. You do it.
Go on, just do one.
No, you do it. Because
You
you'll just
do it.
start laughing anyway. So what's the
No,
point?
wait, I just want
You
to.
will.
It's,
Right,
it's
okay,
your time
no,
to
okay.
shine.
No, I don't
No,
want to
let
shine.
Gupta do it.
No,
I wanna
Gupta's
shine.
not doing it. Gupta's not
Just crack
fucking
on.
doing it, right?
Fuck
Okay,
hell,
thank
Adam.
you
I
for
just-
tuning in, and welcome to episode 4 of the LOUNGECAST. And you're here with Leon.
I'm Rico.
And I'm Adam.
even that was better delayed. Even that was like on my. I don't know.
On my
I don't know if
waveform,
I'm
there's
lagging
just
or
huge
you're lagging.
spikes. There's just huge spikes. I just start laughing.
I'm not sure if it's
If it's
I'm
Discord
sat
doing
above
it,
the
It might be
Wi-Fi.
Discord. It might be Discord.
I'm sat above the Wi-Fi.
I'm just saying.
I'm
My
sat
connection can't be
above
that bad.
I'm sat above the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, certified from a BT engineer. It's confirmed if you sit on your router, you get the fastest connection.
I'm in Nathan's room.
He's actually
above the
sat
Wi-Fi.
on the Wi-Fi.
Wait, did you swap rooms?
No, but I'm sat in here because normally I sit downstairs because it's earlier in the day and Dad won't, come back from work and start making a racket.
Oh, okay.
But
But
because
he's
it's
gonna
later
come back
on, I've
now.
had to sit here
He's gonna come
you up
out
in
with
your
pots
room?
and pans and just start banging.
in
them.
Nathan's.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're in Nathan's.
Right. Okay. No. So
Where's
forget
your
about the
Wi-Fi
rooms.
then?
Forget about the rooms.
Is it in
forget
that
about the rooms.
spare room?
Go back to Game of Thrones.
Anyway, yeah, Game of Thrones.
What was
This
this
is why we're
episode
here.
called? It was Spoils of War.
Spoils of War.
Spoils of War. Right. So B-man, take it away. Where do we start off?
What was the beginning bit again? I can't remember. What was the first
Fucking
scene? I've
hell.
made some notes here from bits that jumped out. But I don't have it in the chronological order, and I've forgotten what you said.
Okay. The very beginning scene is Lannister army. They're taking the supplies away from Highgarden. That's the beginning scene. Do you have anything on that? Anything you
I've
want
got
to
nothing
start
to
off
say
with?
about that. Really.
Absolutely
Well,
nothing
bronze
to say about
back.
it. To be honest,
No.
it's just an establishing scene. It doesn't
Yeah.
really hold, that much to it. To be honest, it's basically set up to remind you that this event is still occurring for what happens later on in the episode. So
Yeah.
the next bit is that the bit with Cave.
That's early on.
No,
yeah.
that's too early, though, isn't it?
Luke, I'm in the middle of a podcast. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, man.
It's all right. I was gonna say
This is going great this week, isn't it?
This is fucking sloppy.
Yeah, when I'm done, we'll watch it. Okay. Right. Cheers, man.
Yeah, La La Land.
La La Land's a good film. I don't know what you're talking about.
I've heard it's shite. Anyway, Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but who told you it was shite?
People that like musicals.
Yeah, good. And they would think it's shite because musicals are fucking terrible.
Yeah, I know.
But La La Land's actually class.
Okay, Game of Thrones.
Anyway, so the next bit's the cave scene, isn't it?
I'm not sure that's right, but we can just crack on with that.
Yeah.
We don't need. It doesn't matter if it's.
Yeah.
in
So we're
chronological
at
order, let's just talk about
Dragonstone, yeah. And John's taking her into the what's the thing called again? The rock.
Dragonstone.
Dragonglass, right? He's taken into the cave. Obviously, you see the dragonglass walls, or whatever. But interestingly enough, we see the markings done by the children of the forest inside the cave.
So why are they there though?
Yeah, that's
because they're normally near weirwoods.
Yeah,
And,
so I imagine
mean,
what happened at some point is whatever war that occurred between humans and the children of the forest is that the children of the forest probably all over Westeros and like mankind or whatever pushed them probably northwards. And I don't know if it's something that they did, but I don't think there's any weirwoods in the south. So
there were, but they all got cut down.
They all got cut down and destroyed. I'm not sure if it was because they did that during the war or if a king did that afterwards or some point.
I think that would have been later on.
Yeah. So I don't think there are any weirwood trees in the south. It's very much of a northern thing. So at some point, the children would have been there. But what's interesting is the markings on the walls show like this weird sort of unity between the two. It doesn't indicate the conflict between them, and it doesn't indicate that the children were responsible for creating the White Walkers. That's something that's very like we know obviously that they made them, but from John's point of view, he's like, I want to use this analogy as being like, oh, these two people came together from different backgrounds, set aside their differences to fight a common enemy, when one of them created the enemy to kill the other, and they lost control of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But did you notice that the spiral on the wall, we've seen that 2 places before? I think it's the same place, but 2 different times. Yeah,
the White Walker captain guy, isn't it?
Yeah. So in the vision that Bran has, he sees the Night King being made. I'm assuming it's the Night King that's being made there, or a White Walker. I think it is. It's the man who's tied to the stone, and they enter the shard of dragonglass into his heart. Do you remember that, B-Man?
Yeah, I remember that.
So there's
I
that
was trying to think.
But we also saw that set of stone. Was it season 2 or 3 when they're north of the wall, and I think Sam come across as it. There's like that weird arrangement of stones. That might be the same
top-down
place.
view of it.
Yeah. I think, to be honest, it's probably the same place.
Was it stones or was it bodies? I thought there was a pattern in the ground of bodies.
There's a pattern of ground of bodies that they also did somewhere else. They might have also done it with bodies then, because they did find some dragon glass there, but
it was like under a rock, wasn't it?
Yeah. So you have that indication and throwback as well. There's quite a few throwbacks to previous seasons and this one so far, but I do find that's pretty interesting that they choose to play that dynamic on about how these are 2 peoples who have come together to do something good when they were at war with each other for so long, and one of them created the White Walkers as a means to defeat the other.
It's still a pretty crucial moment with Daenerys saying that she will fight for you to Jon, so we know that after whatever happens with the Lannisters, they are going to actually band together and move forward to try and... Because I'm assuming that's going to be the chronological order. The White Walker fight will be the end of next season, the main fight.
It's interesting to see Jon taking another woman into a cave, eh?
Yeah, did you? That's something that I like when he's showing her the final like drawing on the wall. Mm-hmm. He leads her, doesn't he? Like by holding her hand and leads her through.
Yeah.
I thought maybe that was like hinting that there is something sort of.
I think, to be honest, with what Dawah says afterwards, is that sort of inclination.
I got that as well. Yeah.
That something is brewing, but it's like I said before, it's still weird.
Yeah.
But then, what they come out, she realizes what's happened at the other places, and then she just bins off Tyrion.
Oh yeah, she doesn't.
She asks, yeah.
And she just asks Jon what he thinks. But she must listen to Jon, because he said don't attack King's Landing, which she didn't do. She then went and attacked the army. So even though like he's not bending the knee, she is sort of like taking into consideration
she's heeding his words, because
saying.
obviously he's not an enemy, but that's someone that she would consider a potential ally, and they do have a current arrangement. So I mean, he's she also knows that he's tested in battle, and he's somebody who, similar to her, has won the support of people and have placed themselves or been placed by people around them in positions of power. Like, he never wanted to be king, but was the best person considered by everybody else around him at the time to do it. So I think she values that in him, because he's not really a king, if you know what I mean. He doesn't think of himself as being like that much kingly like as other people do. Not like her brother in his way, because he thought way too much of himself when he had nothing.
Yeah.
So I think she appreciates that, somewhat humbleness about him.
But it's interesting that she is actually listening to the Tyrell now. I can't remember her name, the one who just died. But she was like, be a dragon, don't be a sheep, don't listen to the men.
Yeah.
So that now she's actually taking her advice. And then we had the reunion of Theon turning up on the shore.
Oh yeah.
Which was good as well. I like that interaction between Jon and Theon, because I wasn't sure because obviously he's gonna be pissed, but then Theon did save Sansa as well, helped her, escape. So I wasn't sure how the interaction was gonna go down, but I thought it was really good actually.
When I saw that, I just when their eyes sort of looked at each other, I just started laughing to myself, imagining if his face just went to reek and he just starts hightailing it into the ocean, like when he jumps overboard.
He starts legging it down.
Just sprint,
down the beach.
literally booking it out there.
Swims out to Gendry's boat.
But yeah, no, because that was towards the end, because it's straight from that scene that it goes to the final scene, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're forgetting the bit in the middle, aren't you? The bit with
but just that whole sequence with Theon, I thought was really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, you never know how much like Jon actually knows, because obviously, as far as Jon's concerned, well, he obviously heard that Theon supposedly, torched his brothers. But he knows that's not true,
because Reek died not Reek, sorry, the other one, Rickon.
Oh yeah,
Rickon died right in front of him, didn't he?
Rickon. I was about to say Rickard and then realised it was Rickon.
Yeah.
So he knows that's not true, because obviously Rickon is still alive. So I'm assuming he probably thinks Bran's still alive as well.
But imagine that though, back then, just not knowing. They're just for years they've just been out somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you think that there'd be a bit more. I don't know. You'd think there'd be a bit more emotion, like when they're meeting. Obviously, with Bran, it was a bit different because he's
not Bran anymore, is he?
Not really Bran anymore.
Yeah, he's very inhuman now.
But yeah, between like Sansa and Arya, you thought there'd be a bit more.
Well, they never really had that kind of relationship anyway. When you think back to season 1, they're very stark contrast, aren't they? Arya's much more like a tomboy and is happy to get dirty and fight and stuff. Whereas Sansa's, not so much. So they never really had that relationship. But I think it was a good chemistry because they embraced and they smiled and they talked about their stories. Both said, it's been long. So they sort of just, they've grown up a lot. So they were very respectful of what's happened to each other without being like, oh, what's happened and blah blah blah, and let's sit down and chat. They were just like, we've both been through things.
Yeah.
Which I think was probably, how it would go, because they weren't the closest of sisters anyway. Because it was the last time they saw each other when Sansa was up on the stage or whatever, where Ned Stark. Yeah, and then Arya's like
she see
hanging on a building. She
just hanging on
to
like
get
a little statue.
View. Yeah, and that's it. And then she just disappears, and obviously she goes into Flea Bottom and finds Gendry. So I mean, it's been such a long time. So that's a nice reunion. And then the reunion with Bran as well, which was bizarre. Because what did Bran say to her? That the list. Oh, he talks about the list.
Yeah, seeing at the crossroads.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I love that cheeky little. Obviously, Arya's joked that she's got a list of people, and then later on when Bran says it, and then she just sort of like cheekily turns around to Sansa and goes, "Yeah, I wasn't joking." Arya's one of my favourite. I think she might even be my favourite character now. Because she's sick, and she all this fighting and.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. I feel like that fight with
You're talking about Gendry's your favourite.
Brienne of Tarth.
Well, other than Gendry, he's not in it much, is he?
Neither was Benjen.
Yeah. So.
No, but that fight with Brienne of Tarth, she wouldn't have won that. Like,
oh, yeah,
the way they made that happen, I thought was a bit like they wanted to show her skills and stuff. But come on, Brienne of Tarth, the sword difference as well, and she's so much stronger. She would have just hit it properly, and that sword would have gone flying.
No,
and when she booted her in the chest,
she does ping her. She does ping that sword about her hand as well when she actually goes for it.
She just boots her in the chest.
So yeah, fuck off.
Sit down.
But yeah, what? Yeah, this is what I was going to say. I think Leon, you might remember because I know you seem to know a lot about Littlefinger.
What about
when Bran says to him, "Chaos is a ladder."
So yeah,
he says that to
Varys.
Varys.
Something he said.
Littlefinger says that to Varys in like season 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Because
Yeah,
Varys was talking
discussion.
about how bad chaos is and that how he wants to restore order, and Littlefinger's like, nah, man, chaos is a ladder.
Chaos is a ladder.
And like,
Yeah.
all there is to it is the climb. And that's him summed up as a character. Any sort of situation where there's any sort of disorder, it's like, okay, how can I make the best out of the situation so I come out on top and people owe me things, and you know, how can I better myself out of someone else's misfortune? That's
why he starts sucking up to Bran straight away, because he thinks he might be the new Lord of Winterfell. Yep. He gives him the dagger, but then he sees that Arya is using that dagger in the fight with Brienne of Tarth. So like straight away he's just like, God's sake, he knows like the kids are all coming together, like, you know, the wolves they're coming back together, and they've all like got special powers. Like he's like, Bran knows about me, and Sansa pretty much, she just tolerates me, but she's not really listening. And look at Arya, and then look at Jon Snow. So he's his back's against the wall right now. So it'll be interesting to see
he's
how
he's putting himself in the Wolves' den here, and he doesn't realise it. He thinks this is a situation where he can manipulate it and come out on top, end up getting Sansa. I mean, that's really weird. Like really liking a girl and then her die and be like, I'll just have a kid. That's a bit bizarre to me.
Sick.
Just being like, you know, thinking that's sweet. If I can get either be friends with Bran and he becomes Lord of Winterfell, or I marry Sansa and she's Lady of Winterfell, and then I become, you know, I get married into this big noble family, which I do not really come from. Like, he has that advantage. He still has hold over that boy from the Vale as well. So
yeah, he's just growing up over there, isn't he? Do you reckon he'll play a part in it later?
He'll die.
Yeah, if anything, he'll probably die. I don't think Littlefinger's going to survive to the end of the season. I
think it will come out that he pushed the woman out down the hole. That guy's the boy's mum. Yeah, obviously Bran must have seen that now. Yeah. So that, I'm sure that will come out.
Sansa was a witness, wasn't she?
Yeah, Sansa defended
him. See it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did she actually see it?
Yeah,
she saw
she was there. So she
was going to throw. The woman was going to throw Sansa out of the moon door.
Oh, you're right.
And Baelish stopped her, and he threw her out instead.
What season was that?
Oh,
is that like 2?
It was like 5 or something.
Yeah, it was like 5.
Was that late?
5. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god.
So it's after Sansa's been through everything, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, after she's escaped King's Landing, she ends up there. I think it's the same season where
that's after Ramsay.
I think he goes there. Arya follows her with the Hound. The Hound's like, I can get money for bringing you here, and then they say that her aunt's dead and Sansa's gone, and she just starts laughing.
Yeah, so I was going to say another point I made. Sansa doesn't seem that happy with having her family back, does she?
Well, think of the extenuating circumstances. She's gathered her family to potentially die at Winterfell.
Yeah, but I don't think it's that. I think it seems like she's.
Well, everyone's changed. Consider
exactly.
Her memory of how they used to be, like their lives are never going to be the same. If you think about the stuff she's been through and her experience, how different she is from being that annoying little girl in season 1 to being someone who is
the annoying
way more reliable now. Whether or not you find her annoying still, up to you. But if she can go through that much and experience and see that much, she can only begin to just imagine and fathom what all the other siblings have had to deal with.
I think she's just a bit jealous that Arya's clearly sick now with the sword and all that. Bran's
she gave that sort of frown.
John's a Don.
Well, everyone's gone out and excelled at the thing they wanted to be. Like, to be honest, that's the sort of person she wanted to be when she was younger.
Yeah.
Everyone's grown up and, excelled at what they wanted to do. Apart from, I mean, you could say that Bran wanted to see the world or something like that, or explore it, or whatever. But now he can, but he can also explore time as well. So, he's got that going for him, but he's just not really himself anymore.
I want to know, exactly like how much he can actually see.
Well, he says everything.
I know, but it's that.
Well, imagine, like, I know when.
Does that mean all of the
some
future
people
as
watched that and they saw.
I doubt the future.
Well, I don't think they've seen the future. The thing is,
No,
he
think
did have
can
that
do
vision.
snippets, but
Yeah,
I doubt he can
it's
probably
not
like
clear,
see
though,
the
is it?
future. Yeah.
The reason
Yeah,
why
that's
everything
right.
he sees in the past is so clear is because it's already happened.
Yeah.
The whole thing about him not being himself anymore. Like, imagine if you knew everything that had ever happened
I know.
at all points in the world. Like, you'd lose yourself completely in those memories.
It wouldn't be your mind. You wouldn't
Yeah.
have a personality. You're just
You're just
the
a
memories
vessel
of
that
everything.
can inform other people of what this happened. So this sort of thing would have been experienced by the previous three-eyed raven as well.
Yeah.
So this is that weird alien consciousness thing that I was talking about before. He's assimilated into it now, so he's no longer Brandon Stark, the son of Ned Stark, child of Winterfell type thing. He is Brandon Stark, assimilated into this Children of the Forest weirwood consciousness type thing.
There was a very potent scene actually with the girl. You know, when she
Mira,
was like, "My
yeah.
brother died for you." Mira, yeah.
He's
So
just
my
like,
brother
yeah,
died for you.
thank
Is that thank you? Is that all you've got to say after all they've been through? Because they have been travelling for so long.
Yeah.
You think when they
You do
came in
forget
ages
that
ago?
brother, like, what's the guy's name that plays him? It's the actor who's like maybe even older than us, but he looks 12. I can't remember.
Yeah. When he gets
Yeah.
killed by the skeletons, doesn't he?
Yeah, he
has
gets
to
killed
pull
by
down
the
and
skeleton
stuff.
warriors.
So they've been through so much when they got like tied up at Winterfell, Craster's Keep. Not Winterfell, sorry. Oh, was it? No, Craster's Keep. And then you know, he's just like, "Thank you," and she's like, "Thank you." Is that it? And after all they've been through, and he's just not. And what did she say? You died that day in the cave.
Yeah, so you die back there in the cave. With everybody else, he died with Hodor.
Such
and
strong
Summer.
scene as well.
So it's such a small moment as well. It's like, yeah, he's gone. Like,
I think
you've
for
got
like
the body, but the boy's gone.
it was like the shortest episode so far, but there were so many just defining moments up to, you know, the last big 15-20 minutes. But even the scenes towards it with the cave, with the meeting of Theon, with the reunion, with the parting, there's so many defining moments that was very, very strong in themselves, which made it such a good episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, it was only 47 minutes total runtime.
47?
If you include
Yeah,
the credits,
it's the shortest one.
It was
They could have done like another
short.
10 minutes.
Christ.
Done a bit more flying about on the dragoons.
Okay. Are we going to talk about that scene then?
Can do.
Yeah, I just wanted to, before I forget, I mean, I don't, it's not really a spoiler for next week, but I just watched the trailer for the next episode,
Mm.
and I was just going to say there's a bit where John's stood round the table in like Khaleesi's war room, and he's saying something about Bran's seeing the walkers marching on Eastwatch. So whether that's going to be either next
Raven.
episode or the episode after, that theirs is the actual battle.
Well, we've
I think
got,
that's
what,
coming up.
5, 6, 7. So we've got 3 episodes left.
3.
So the battle's coming soon. So we know it's going to be within. If it's not the next one, it will be the one after. Because I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully it's you know, going to take up the majority of an
Oh
episode.
yeah, that was it as well. Well, I don't know if it was last episode or a couple episodes ago. You were saying about are the White Walkers just going to go to Eastwatch and then just walk round through the water? But yeah, I can't remember. It might have been in a video I was watching. They were saying about how obviously up the north, a lot of the water's freezing, and there's going to be like ice around
Like,
basically, and they're just going to walk
expanses,
around.
like essentially forming land bridges, but made of
Yeah.
ice.
So I think
So
maybe
they are
that's-
just going to
that's
walk around
plan.
the castle.
Yeah, just walk right,
I think
because the lake or whatever there, the body of water, will be a natural barrier to prevent wildlings from coming across. So now they don't have to deal with that, because if winter has come, the water's going to freeze over and they'll just fucking stroll all over.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
The thing is though, with that as well, they have to break the ice.
They
wouldn't
are still. They are 100% north of the wall, aren't they?
Who?
the White
The White
Walkers.
Walkers, yeah.
Because I was chatting to Samo yesterday,
Well, no,
the day before, and he goes, yeah, and he was like, no, they're south of the wall now. I guarantee you. I was like, I swear they're
You
not.
didn't even bloody watch it.
You probably know something that you don't. But to be honest, if there's any weird stuff about them coming beyond the wall now, you don't forget Bran is now branded by the Night King. So maybe that will allow them to actually.
But what does that mean? So he got touched by it, so now they can come past the wall. Is that it? Is that?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like with the cave, isn't it? Because supposedly
how
there's
does that
some.
work?
They couldn't enter the cave before, but he got branded.
He got
And then they
branded
could
in
go.
a
You know,
vision.
the tree? They couldn't go to that place before because it was protected. But because he's been branded by it, imagine, you know.
And
I don't know if that makes him bypass the wall like 100%, but if there's some weird magic barrier, that's probably not as strong anymore.
Yeah, supposedly the wall has got that same sort of barrier over it, which I assume, is broken now that he's gone past it, so they can reach him, which he's beyond the wall. So surely it's the
Maybe
same
Bran
sort
will
of
act as some sort of beacon to, like, for them to go towards when they do go past the wall or whatever.
I think he's just going to end up having to be a martyr.
They'll probably strap loads of, jars of oil to his wheelchair and wheel him down, shoot a flaming arrow at him, blow up, take out the Night King.
Why didn't he just?
But then before he dies, he'll walk into a bird so he can fly the whole world. Why
didn't he just walk into a berg and then they just strap explosives to the bird and
then walk out just before it blows up? To be honest, that's an effective bit of military technology right there.
Look, it's quite deep on the birds. Like you'd have to keep it quiet from the RSPCA, but like all in all, it would be an effective method. Like walking to some of the fish under the ice.
Didn't they used to strap bombs like dolphins and stuff and get them to blow up submarines and stuff in the war? Like, I wouldn't be surprised.
In real life?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if animals
strapping bombs to dolphins.
Yeah, like think about that. Would you rather strap a bomb? Would you rather strap a bomb to? Like
but the dolphin's just gonna swim off.
Swim away.
Yeah.
Why is it going towards some big?
I don't know. Probably trained them.
But anyway, with these birds, where are they getting these bombs they're strapping to these birds?
Well,
wildfire?
Like pitch, like the stuff that you use to.
The oil stuff thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't coat the bird in pitch because obviously you won't be able to fly. But just attach.
No, walk into a bird, pick up like a pot that's filled with it, and then fly over, and then just hover, and then get John to just shoot an arrow at the pot, and then the bird just explodes and just kills loads because it just showers fire on them.
It's just get a bird, get a pot of pitch so it flies over Beric Dondarrion, and as soon as he ignites his sword, just drop it on him. There you go.
I think they could have just solved this already by this bird tactic. Yeah, they could just fly north of the wall and just do this all the time.
I think it's more trouble than it's worth.
What? An avian jihad? It'd be absolutely class if Brandon could do that. Just control an army of birds. Or if not even an army of birds, get wolves or something, or get really big dogs.
No, it can't be blowing up wolves.
Alright, get horses, because horses, let's face it,
I can't be
horses are just really big, massive cats, if you think about it, right? Just strap them with loads of pitch and just charge them through the White Walker's line and just set them up. Or if there's any other animal that you'd rather strap explosives to and sacrifice for the greater good to prevent, endless winter, then by all means suggest a way.
Squirrels.
I mean, that's even more stupid than birds.
That's ridiculous, Adam.
This whole idea is stupid, isn't it?
No, it isn't.
No, it is. Not. Birds make sense. Squirrels are just outrageous.
How's a squirrel getting past the wall, B-Man?
It wasn't a serious suggestion.
A bird can fly over the wall. A squirrel can't.
Squirrels are already on the other side of it.
Because then you'd need a bird carrying a squirrel to fly over the wall.
Riding a horse.
Yeah, riding a horse to get to the wall in the first place.
So rather than blowing up the birds, you could have the bird picking up the squirrel, dropping the squirrel bomb. And then you wouldn't have to keep getting to
Oh, here we go.
What? Cover the squirrel in...
Cover rats.
No, just fill it up.
And drop the pitch-covered rats over the wall on the White Walkers, and then just shoot flame arrows at them.
Just fill the squirrel up like it's a water bomb.
Oh, that's cruel.
That's
out of order. That is out of order.
That's too far, is it? Sorry.
Yeah, that's too far.
Because I mean, all you're gonna do is just blow up the squirrel. That's not gonna do anything.
Shrapnel, though.
Yeah. If only shrapnel worked on White Walkers. If it was just ordinary people that we were talking about, maybe that would be effective. But against the White Walkers, I don't think they care about shrapnel beamer.
But yeah, let's get back on track.
So before you distracted us, B-Man, you were going to start talking about the last sequence of events, weren't you?
No, I was going to say one thing before we go on to the last sequence of events. Because we were talking last week about what Arya's going to do, whether she's going to actually be part of, the fight against the White Walkers and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But she has actually got a Valyrian steel dagger now, hasn't she? So she might well be.
Yep.
Yeah, I think she probably will, to be honest. I think
If
she'll
she's
stay with
doing
the
all those
family.
moves, can you imagine her doing all those moves, ducking and diving and slashing with that dagger? You see?
But yeah, sounds like you want to marry her, Adam.
No, it's just sick.
She's 12.
How old is
She
she meant
looks
to
like
be
it.
now?
Well, the character in the book, or
Yeah.
I don't
Actual
know.
Arya at this point.
I don't
Everyone's so young in the books, aren't they? Like Rob's 15 when he's becoming like the guy in charge and going to war. He's 15 years old.
I think we think of it weird because obviously we live longer now. Life expectancy is like 80 plus, whereas back then life expectancy would probably be like what 50.
Yeah, he's still. Yeah, I suppose.
At best, probably like 40, like mid 40s is probably your max life expectancy. Especially
Yeah, but
if
I
you're
mean,
not,
what
especially
about
if you're not
Olenna?
rich.
Yeah, well, she's rich.
Yeah, that's the thing with her. She lives in like the most fertile part of Westeros, so.
Yeah.
And just because one person is well old doesn't mean that everybody's life expectancy goes up.
No, no, but
otherwise
it's like
our life expectancy would be like 110 or something.
I know, but like even like the High Sparrow guy, you know,
Yeah.
he didn't live particularly well, did he? But he was an old fella.
But I mean, considering that there's always like some sort of conflict going on, that's going to drag life expectancy down. A lot of people are dying younger and whatnot.
Who was that jokes geezer, the old one in the Grand Maester Pycelle? Is it him, the guy who got stabbed?
Oh yeah,
by the children?
he got fucking
Yeah, he was quite old.
shanked by a gang of youths.
Have you seen the
Just went
like
down
delete?
to London, didn't he?
Have you seen like the deleted scene or whatever of
Him
when him and Tywin?
Yes. And
And
Tywin
he's-
says he knows that he's pretending.
Yeah, and then he
Yeah.
just stands up straight.
Yeah. No, I've seen
That's
that
so
scene.
weird.
Just asking like which houses he's been serving and whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, moving on to the final big scene.
I'm just happy Bron's back because he's such a good character.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what was so difficult about that last scene, wasn't it? Like you didn't. Well, I mean, I guess you guys probably don't care about Jamie, but I sort of didn't want him to
Jamie's had a
die.
good character arc. He's had he's actually a really, really solid character. I liked his arc. Obviously,
So
you're
it's like-
supposed to think that he's that bell-end Prince Charming type character when you first meet him, because he does look like Prince Charming from Shrek.
Yeah.
In
Yeah, he
season
does.
1, he proper looks like him, but he goes through a really, really good arc, and that's why I think
he's
he's
done a
going to
big
end up
U-turn.
going full circle and end up killing Cersei at the end.
Yeah,
They're all
I
just
think
questioning
you
their
are right.
morality now, aren't they, about what they do, really?
Yeah.
Because there's a nice bit with Bronn where, you know, he sees his pouch of gold and he leaves it. He doesn't turn to get it.
But even Bronze develops.
Yeah, because he doesn't care about getting his castle, really, does he? He, you know, and
You can see that he misses Tyrion as well.
yeah. The joke's because Tyrion's there, isn't he? He was like,
he's
"Don't do
right
it, you
there.
fool." So I'm assuming they're going to pull Jamie out of the water,
Yeah.
even though he's sinking rapidly in his heavy armor. But
Like, he should drown. Like, by all means, he should be drowning.
I want to know how they sort of fell into water right by the land, yet it looks like he's fallen through a hole in the ice. And there's like no decline of the land under the water.
that's just a big water hole there.
It's just
randomly.
huge.
Yeah,
water.
just a
Yeah.
steep drop.
I don't know. That was a bit weird, to be fair.
Yeah.
So what's
Yeah,
happened to Bronn? Is he alright? Because he must have got hit by the fire blast.
No, well, when I watched it again, I was looking out for that, but he grabs him and pushes him over, but Bronn actually goes further away from the fire, I think.
Oh, okay.
So I think he's fine. He's definitely fine. I like him.
So do you want to go back to the beginning of the scene?
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to say, when she's burning all the like wheat and grain, all the big cartons, why doesn't she just save them for her troops?
Don't know.
Adds more to the chaos of the battle. If
Well, no, but she could like
if you're
could
there
just fly over
fighting,
and
if you're
murk all the
losing
troops up.
what you're wanting to fight for, the people you're trying to kill don't want to fight. So she doesn't. She's like, sweet. Yeah, she could. She probably doesn't even know what's in them for starters. But by blowing up something that they're transporting, these men could either flee or they could surrender. Anything to end the fight quicker.
nah, but she's not gonna let them.
I reckon if
she's
there's
just
people that
gonna-
surrender, she'll let them join her. I guarantee you.
Well, I was just
Mate,
going
they're
to say,
turning to dust.
that's what I think I saw on the trailer. It was her having a speech to like the people that they have left alive, saying like, join us or die, basically.
So are they gonna take Jamie prisoner then? I'm assuming they will, and then try and use it as a bargaining chip for
someone. It's going to be awkward, isn't it, for Tyrion?
Well, yeah, because Tyrion's going to be back. But then again, I could just see Jaime doing a U-turn, sort of joining her side in a weird way.
I don't know.
It could happen though, because you know how he's feeling about Cersei, but after she burst in last episode and sorted him out, you might be.
He's like, yeah, that was nice. I'm back on board. Don't have to worry about anything. But the thing is, though, ultimately, if he does switch sides, he there's like indications through like different connotations that he may end up killing her, but there's not enough to say that this character is in that particular state of mind for him to be 100% like, I'm going to kill her. If he switched sides, surely that's how it's going to have to end. If he ends up joining Daenerys, he must know that Cersei's going to end up being killed.
But do you not think that maybe it's a bit like obvious foreshadowing for him to just do the same thing that they've all talked about him doing and got his name for, like to kill her?
No,
that seems like that would be more of like the predictable way, and then people wouldn't expect him to actually just completely turn and join.
Well, it depends. Not doing something that people expect, if you've set a character to do that, is good writing. If you do make a character do something that's completely out of character just to, trick the audiences, that's bollocks and bad writing. Yeah. So I think for what I've seen of the character and everything that I know about him, I would be fine with his character arc going back round and him ending up being, he's now back part of the Kingsguard again, except it's for the Queen's Guard now, but him having to become the Queen Slayer as well as the King Slayer, and it's someone that's obviously that he loves.
But what if like they take him prisoner, Daenerys takes him prisoner, and then they talk about the whole fact that there's the White Walkers coming and stuff like that, and somehow, I don't know, Tyrion manages to convince her to send him back, just like Catelyn did.
I'm not ruling out the possibility, but I think even in that scenario, Cersei, if there's any sort of truce with the White Walkers, if anyone's breaking it, it's her. Then that also gives him another reason for him to kill her.
Yeah. It could go that way. Is Rico talking? So he keeps lighting up and nothing.
If Rico's talking, I can't hear him.
No, I haven't been. It's just because it can probably just pick up background sounds.
Yeah. Didn't know you were spying the cord.
Yeah, no, I kept thinking I was talking over you or something, and it was making you go quiet.
Okay.
But yeah.
So I noticed in that one episode, there was roughly about 80 or 90 shots of Daenerys on the dragon, and I want to say last season there was about 10 to 15 of her riding a dragon. So this episode is probably one of the most expensive they've ever done. Just this one. Yeah. That's probably why it's so short, for starters. Yeah. I imagine there's probably a lot of stuff that they cut, but 80 to 90 shots of her riding that dragon. I can't even begin to fathom how expensive.
Where did you get that from? That figure, 80 to 90.
Counting them when I watched it.
80 to 90. What, different shots of her riding the dragon?
Yeah, shots. Anytime the camera changes of her riding a dragon, just in that one episode.
Well, this is one of the things I've never understood. Like, where's that money going?
What do you mean?
To create CGI? Like, why does it cost so much? Because the people that
you gotta get people
charging so much.
Well, there's that, because the HBO probably don't have a first party CG studio, because not everything they produce requires it, so they have to hire out a third party, and whoever that third party in has to probably hire freelance workers for something like Game of Thrones, because it'll be too big for them. And then you've got to get the people who work in the studio who know how to light correctly for CG, know how to pilot the animatronics, and people who know how to direct somebody who is going to be using CG, because you may not have a director who's experienced with that. So that would require you to hire another production team just for the CG scenes alone.
All adds up.
Yeah. Like, it's nowhere near the same budget as Game of Thrones. But when we did our short film, when we thought, well, we've got like nearly £2,000, it went on like nothing. You think you can do so much with that, but you can't. So a show like Game of Thrones, you've got so much money's being pumped into it. I think it's the most popular show ever now, isn't it?
Must be.
Probably one of them.
If it's not the most popular HBO show, then it's definitely up there. Then they're gonna have the money for it. But they have to still spend it wisely. Especially now when you've got people who are hacking the goddamn show and releasing stuff early, like this episode, and they've said again that they've hacked CEO emails and are threatening to release more.
Yeah, my God.
So they're going to be paying money on security now. Because I waited to watch it legally. I'm saying
the only reason why I didn't is because I thought it would work better. It wouldn't be such a rush coming back from work, having to watch it and then do the podcast.
When I went to
I wish I did
the
wait.
woman who was serving me said that she watched it early because she didn't want somebody spoiling it for her. She kept talking to me about Game of Thrones and talking to me about theories as well. But it's just that mentality, you know. Like,
that's why you were there for 2.5 hours.
That's one of the reasons. But it's just, you know, why do they do this to them? Like, what was the point of them stealing this stuff? And just to show it early, like was it 2 days before it came out?
A lot of the time, there's not a point to doing things. People just like being assholes.
Yeah.
It's not even like it's ransomware or anything like that. They're not asking for money.
Making burgers, yeah.
Or anything.
Yeah.
What was this about burgers?
Bob's Burgers, isn't it?
100% George Foreman's what I'm hearing. But it's not even like they did any ransomware or anything like that. Didn't they steal scripts before they got an actual episode? I can't remember because it's not the same people who leaked the first 4 of last season. Because I didn't watch those when they leaked. I actually waited. Did you watch those?
I don't even remember that.
Obviously.
Did you, B-Man?
No, I didn't remember that.
Did you, Rico?
Yeah, they leaked the first 4 episodes. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, do you remember? Because they had the watermark of the because they sent it out to distributors and they put a watermark on it based on what distributor, and so they could see who it had leaked from. I didn't watch them, but I know that they did leak because I think some of my housemates watched them. I'm not too sure, but you have that like sort of issue as well.
The leaked version of this episode was terrible quality.
Yeah, I didn't want to watch
it. I couldn't even see the dragon glass in the cave. I didn't even know what they were looking at. You know?
Yeah, I thought it would be terrible quality. I just waited till.
No, there were good versions out there actually. The one I watched pretty good. But I watched a video with Kit Harington where he said they had to record fake scenes because the Spanish paparazzi, wherever they were, you know, on the coast for the dragon. I can't remember what's the castle called? Dragonstone, yeah. Apparently there were the Spanish paparazzi flying drones over, so they had to record fake scenes to throw them off, basically.
I won't be surprised.
Just leave them to
it. Well, but it doesn't matter. They could be people who literally don't give a shit who are flying the drones. They just know it will generate money for them by doing so. They may not even be somebody who's like, I want to know what happens. I need to know who's on set. I need to know if this person meets this person. People flying them probably don't care. They just know that there's enough people that do.
Yeah. Well, that's just the same with people releasing it. They probably don't even care, do they? They might not be making money from it, but they're just like, I'll just release it anyway. And to them, I say, thank you, sir.
Because that drone problem is going to persist now until they sort out, you know, flight areas or whatever for it.
Well, I just think like with the leaking stuff anyway, I'm sure there's ways to prevent it. I think there's so many shows out there. Like, why isn't every show being leaked?
Because there's just nobody.
This one's so much better, but there's still big shows out there that people like care about. So I feel like they should definitely.
They probably are.
I don't know. We don't understand how it works. We don't understand what goes into that process. So it's hard. So it's easy for us to say, you know, ramp up your security if you're worried about it. But at the end of the day, like, I'm sure like there's so much that goes into it that we don't even know or can even consider. So maybe it is just something they can't do all the time.
Yeah, there must be a lot of people involved, like in the whole production of Game of Thrones. And was it definitely someone who's actually? Like, it was definitely someone who's hacked into like email and got it off of there somehow.
I don't even know how. I
don't think it was leaked like internally. I believe it was. This time it was an external
somebody just got into it.
Got in and taken it. That's what the reports of it I've seen have said. It may not actually be the case, but I think previously it was a distributor who leaked the first 4.
Well, if 4 episodes are getting leaked, that's got to be somebody internally probably just like sneaking them off to a friend, like, here you go, trying to impress a girl. Got 4 episodes for you, babe. And it just spread.
If you're doing that, you're a waste man. by any stretch of the word.
Bet he got the girl there.
Waste man. Probably doesn't. He's probably like, oh sweet, first 4 episodes, now jog on, mate. That's what I'd do.
Wow. 49 minutes. Just like 49 minutes Game of Thrones. It's meant to be, boys.
I mean, we can leave it there if you want.
We can do current events.
I was just gonna clear up the stuff from last week with those theories.
Okay. Oh right, okay, yeah.
And so we're the one with Varys. This is what it said about that Varys moves quietly and has long robes, so people think that he's like gliding across the floor. But obviously, in the TV series, we see his legs, so that sort of comes down there. And then
fucking hell.
Says they also pick up on the fact that
if someone glides across the floor, the theory should be that the person is like, I don't know, some sort of banshee or vampire or something.
Not a mermaid.
Or they could just be light-footed. You could just be stealthy.
But yeah, that's one of them. Yeah, okay. And then another point they say is like he doesn't have a bed in his living quarters. Apparently. And for some reason, mermen don't need beds.
Mermen don't also need land, but you know.
I know.
The bed's the weird thing.
And then when they're on the ship and they're sailing to go and find Daenerys, Tyrion says something about being thrown overboard and drowning or something, and Varys suggests that he'd be surprised by the result or something. Looks like that could mean anything. I don't know. Why is he a merman?
Don't know. You tell us, mate.
I don't know. I just don't understand where it's coming from.
Do you have anything else to add?
About the other one that I couldn't remember from that video was about Silvio Farrell being a masked man. Okay. And being the same masked man as Jack and Hagar, the same faceless man.
Okay.
But
that could work.
From the stuff, it sounds like it could be true. But apparently, the showrunners have said that he is actually dead. But they could say that anyway, because Silvio might actually be dead, but the faceless man isn't. But anyway, they're both from Braavos, and they both took the responsibility of protecting Arya. Silvio talks about the many-faced god, same one that Jaqen serves. You never actually see Silvio die. And Jaqen is first met as he's being captured, which you think, like, how did he even get captured? Because he's supposed to be pretty sick, isn't he?
So what, he got captured as Silvio? Is what you mean?
No, he got captured. Well,
no, but like obviously that's how he got.
I didn't
captured.
think about that. Yeah, that's a good.
That was how he got into capture when he
King's Landing. Yeah.
King's Landing, yeah, when he got caught.
And then Silvio is the first sword of Braavos, which is apparently a high-ranking position in the Braavosi government. And the faceless men like to take the persona of people like that to stay close to like the higher-ups and make sure that their actions fall in line with the many-faced god, the will of the many-faced god.
Well, that one makes sense because it's like then he's just been training Arya from the beginning, faceless man. So that one really makes sense, to be honest. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
and it's something that works within the world. It all aligns.
And Arya says to Jaqen about her dancing master from Braavos, and then it shows a little clip and shows Jaqen returns like a sly little smile to her. So I don't know. It could be true.
We'll see. I wonder if they'll even be a part of it anymore. Like. I guess they're unnecessary to the storyline, aren't they?
Yeah.
They've done their bit.
Syria Farrell's with Gendry, he's training him.
Yeah.
Gendry's going to come back sick. He's going to be spinning around Robert Baratheon's Warhammer like Arya was doing with Needle. We're like, whoa, how can you do that, Gendry? It's because he's stacked and Syria Farrell taught him how to fight.
No.
If only.
Gendry, I wonder when he'll come back. I reckon they should just bin him off and make like Podrick the main man.
Yeah, Podrick's the boy.
No, Podrick, he's probably my third favourite behind Benjen and Gendry.
I hope you weren't going to say Arya and Jon Snow. Like, I really hope. Because Arya, okay. But don't say Jon Snow's your favourite character.
I'm not. I just said earlier Arya is.
No, I don't even know what Arya like. I don't know.
She's good. She's cheeky. She's quick. She's good at fighting. She's smart.
So everything
tactical.
I'm not. Nah, to be fair though,
there's no need for
that. You know my favourite characters, because they're everything I am.
What, Joffrey?
Joffrey and Ramsay. They just want to have fun.
At the expense of others.
They just want to rape and murder women. Kill a load of babies.
Right, so anything you want to add?
Yeah, I was just going to ask, Liam, did you watch Preacher?
I haven't watched it in ages. I've only watched the first 3 of season 2.
Yeah, but I've not heard anything about it, but I heard on a podcast today about like Hitler's in it, and they actually make him like they show him in a way that the audience sort of sympathise with Hitler.
I don't know, haven't seen that. I know that Hitler's in it because I don't want to spoil it for you, but something happens in hell, and you get to see Hitler.
So what? Yeah, I don't even know the concept of it. I don't even know what.
So have you not seen Preacher?
No.
So why are you asking me this?
Because I just heard about it and and I know you watch it, or I thought you watched it.
Yes, well,
what do you
think,
about?
Essentially in Preacher, what hell is the place where you relive the worst day of your life over and over again for eternity. So, I don't know what Hitler's worst day of his life is, but there's a character in the show there's 2 characters in the show who you get to see their version of hell, and one person it's going to get medicine for their daughter and coming back and finding her dead and his wife dead, and then being feasted on by crows. And then he goes back to a bar and kills everybody in there. He does that every day of his life. For the rest of his afterlife. And this other boy is him going to visit this girl who's going to kill herself, and then talks her out of it and burns her suicide note, and he tries to kiss her, and she ends up killing herself because she thinks the idea of being with this guy is revolting, and he blows out. He tries to kill himself as well, and he lives that day over and over again. So there's 2 characters, you get to experience their version of hell, and something happens which causes whatever prison they're in to open up, and when he steps outside, the person he meets is Hitler, who the actor playing Hitler was in Game of Thrones. He was the Bolton agent who infiltrated the Night's Watch, who gets killed by Hodor.
Oh, really?
Guy. Yeah, that person plays Hitler in the episode that I've seen anyway. I've only seen up to 3, so if there's any sympathetic Hitler stuff, then it's later on, but I wouldn't be surprised, because Preacher is that ridiculous. Did you watch Misfits?
Yeah.
The guy from... the character from Misfits, who his power, Rudy, was that he had the twin that was the opposite of him.
Yeah.
He's in Preacher. He plays an Irish vampire called Cassidy, and he's one of the best things about Preacher.
He is good. I like him. He's a good actor.
Yeah, he plays the Irish. To be honest, Preacher, the characters in it are really good. I just think, from what I've heard of the first season, the adaptation isn't as good because it's not that faithful so far. Season 2 maybe have rectified that, but American Gods I've heard is a much better adaptation, if that's what you're looking for.
Okay.
I can vouch for American Gods being good without even reading the book.
Yeah, still haven't carried that on. Need to.
Gupta.
But yeah, one last thing.
Gupta. As if you're just going to chuck a Gupta in there.
Yeah, one last thing. I was talking about doing like a short story every now and then.
Yeah. What?
A short story for like the next week every now and then.
We're going to try and add more stuff to the channel. So,
wait, I never heard this.
I probably didn't tell you, but Adam, yeah. Is he laughing at you? Right in the short story.
Probably didn't tell you. So why didn't you tell me?
Oh no, I don't know. I was just speaking to Adam about it. We were just saying.
Right. So when was this?
As we're going to add more stuff to the channel, he wants to write some short stories.
You know, write short
Yeah,
stories.
I just thought it was something, something that could be done, and it gets me writing some stuff each week as well.
So how are you gonna like show these short stories?
Well, this is the thing. I mean, whether it would be when we
make it like an audiobook, mate. Do different voices. Oh my god, that'd be sick. Do an audiobook.
You want to do an audiobook?
Do it like an audiobook. But yeah, anyway, I don't know. I was thinking about just doing this one because it was going to be sort of like Game of Thrones based.
So did you write a Game of Thrones fanfic, B-Man?
No, I haven't. No.
Have you written Game of Thrones fanfic, B-Man?
No, I haven't.
I met Jon Snow.
No, this is my...
No, John, you can't. I'm your aunt. I don't care.
This is the idea that came to my head when I was working there. I could just sort of like fill in the gaps of what Gendry's been doing.
What, write a short story?
That's the end of the podcast. That's the end of the
podcast. Gendry?
Yeah, no, I'd do a little short story about Gendry, and I could call it Around the World in 800 Days.
What? Okay. No.
That's it.
So this wasn't serious, this short story thing.
Well, it's just practice writing, isn't
it? Put a character in there called Jigba.
Yeah, no.
It'd be quite difficult as well.
The Adventures of Gupta in Westeros. Gupta in Westeros is what I want to read. If you're doing any sort of bollocks fanfiction, Gupta.
That should be the name. The Adventures of Gupta in Westeros. Gupta's just the main character.
Yeah, Gupta and Toadfish.
In Westeros.
Gupta and Toadfish do Westeros. Featuring Jewish Zeus.
Featuring Jewish
and
Zeus.
Richard Black Branson.
Jimmy Moist Flanger.
Mm-hmm.
They all make a little appearance.
Are these just all these stupid named FIFA players that you've added?
These are our Pro Clubs players.
I've always been Toadfish. On PS4, I'm Brendan Fraser.
Jolly's was Darth Zoot.
Yeah, Darth Zoot.
Darth Zoot.
And then Anders.
Whose was Leiden? What was his?
It was Nathan Busby, wasn't it?
I think it was. And Samo's was...
I can't remember what Sam's was.
Oh.
Jellicoe's, what's Jellicoe's? It wasn't actually...
I can't remember.
It wasn't Coleman, was it? No, it wasn't Coleman. No. I can't remember what Jellicoe's. I remember
just being like
somebody was called The Dirt.
Yeah, that was mine. I think I was at The Dirt for the last bit. Why have I set an alarm? Oh, United game.
Oh yeah, Real Madrid.
Yeah. You want to watch it? Yeah.
But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, mate.
I'll find somewhere to end the podcast. Probably just about now.